Welcome into the 49ers Report. Chase Senior here with you. Appreciate all of you for watching the show. Coming your way, a look at the NFC playoff picture to see where San Francisco stands right now at 5-4 going into Monday Night Football against the Arizona Cardinals. Then we'll take a look at the latest 49ers news and rumors and take your questions from all of our loyal subscribers. So you look at the NFC playoff picture right now going into Week 11 of the 2022 NFL season. Even though the Philadelphia Eagles fell on Monday Night Football in a surprise game to the Washington Commanders, they're still in first place in the NFC with that 8-1 record. They do have the tiebreaker over the Minnesota Vikings because they beat them pretty badly in Week 2. The surprise team of the NFL here in 2022 is the Seattle Seahawks. They are now sporting a 6-4 record, but going up against teams with a top 10 DVOA, the 49ers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they got dominated. So are they going to fall apart in the back half of the season? A big matchup coming up in a couple of weeks on Thursday Night Football in Seattle between the Niners and the Seahawks to maybe determine the NFC West champion. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in a bad division in the NFC South, are 500 at 5-5, but they are in fourth place as the last divisional winner as of right now. The wild card teams do include the New York Giants at 7-2. Like the Seahawks, really exceeding expectations this year. The Dallas Cowboys, following that loss to the Green Bay Packers, at 6-3. San Francisco 49ers would make the playoffs if the season were to end today at 5-4, but I think they end up winning this division to host a home playoff game. Washington Commanders at 5-5. The Niners have a half-game lead over Washington, and then the Green Bay Packers, outside looking in, 9th place at 4-6, and the Atlanta Falcons at 4-6 so far this year. That NFC South, it's going to be fascinating to see how it plays out. And Tom Brady on the road for a pretty good team hosting a divisional playoff game, that could be a nightmare. So if the season also were to end today, we would see a pretty intriguing matchup in Minneapolis. It would be the 7-seeded 49ers going on the road to take on the 2-seeded Minnesota Vikings. And let's spend a couple of minutes talking about this matchup. If this matchup were to come to fruition, and this would be a reality, I think San Francisco matches up very, very well with Minnesota. Until Kirk Cousins can win a primetime game, and I'm not counting the win over the Buffalo Bills as such, I'm not buying into the Minnesota Vikings, especially in the playoffs. And the physicality of the Niners defense, I think, bodes well and matches up very favorably against Minnesota. Yes, they do have Justin Jefferson. Adam Thielen has been the same guy the last couple of years. The trade that they made for TJ Hawkinson was a good one. And of course, Kyle Shanahan is very familiar with Kirk Cousins. But this is a matchup. If it were to happen in the NFL wildcard round, I would really like San Francisco to go on the road like they did last year against the Dallas Cowboys, pull off the upset, and get a big dub in the big dance. So who do you think wins the division right now? We have a great race between the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. Project forward. Who wins the division? I'm going the Niners, so I'm going to type my SF. You're going with the Seahawks? Type SEA. Let me know right now. AFC playoff picture. We'll spend a couple of minutes here because I know a lot of you want to get informed about what's going on in the NFL. Really good race here in the AFC too, just like the NFC. But I do think the NFC has a lot more parity. And if you ask me right now, I think the Eagles and the Niners have the two best rosters in the NFC. In the AFC, Kansas City Chiefs, number 1 seed at 7-2. We saw firsthand what Patrick Mahomes can do when he's feeling it a couple of weeks ago at Levi Stadium. The Miami Dolphins, undefeated with Tua Tagovailoa, in that number 2 spot in the NFC at 7-3. Tennessee Titans at 6-3 at that 3 spot. In the 4 position, it's the Baltimore Ravens at 6-3. New York Jets, led by Robert Saleh, 6-3. They would make the playoffs if the season were to conclude today. And how about the Kyle Shanahan proteges? Mike McDaniel, Robert Saleh, right now would have their teams in the playoffs. Buffalo Bills at number 6, that's a scary team to face in the wild card round. New England Patriots at 5-4, locking up that 7 spot as of the current moment. Los Angeles Chargers, following the loss to the Niners, in that 8 spot. Cincinnati Bengals, look out for Joe Burrow and the crew. I think they soar up these rankings here at 5-4 and that 9 seed. And the Jeff Saturday-led Indianapolis Colts, their playoff hopes, there's still a heartbeat there, 4-5 following their win over the Las Vegas Raiders. So I asked you earlier who would win the NFC West. How about this question? If you're a big football fan, get into the comment section. Who wins the AFC? Want to hear from you down in the comment section. And on the other side, we will start answering your questions right here from the faithful, because I know a lot of you have some big questions about the 49ers and where they're at from here on out until the end of the regular season. But our show today is Established Titles as our presenting sponsor. We really appreciate them for all of their support of the 49ers Report. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It's a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds, lords, and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. They plant a tree with every order and work with global charities, One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future, to support global reforestation efforts. You could officially include the title Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane tickets, and dating profiles. It makes for a great last-minute gift, and the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using our link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking distance. Depending on how many of you want to become a Lord or a Lady, we can build our own 49ers Report kingdom. It makes for an amazing last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running a massive early Black Friday sale right now with discounts up to 80% off, and if you use the code CHAT, you get an additional 10% off. You see my crest here, Lord Chase Sr.? That's what I want everybody to call me for the rest of the show. Address me as Lord Chase Sr. because I have land in Scotland thanks to establishedtitles.com/chat. I got 10% off. You can as well. We'll put that link in the comment section right now. Raiders for life. Starting off our mailbag portion of this segment, you're an amazing host. Any update on the package and the 49ers working out Kevin King? No update as of right now, Evan, and we will get you that update. Hold on. Is this for Raiders for Life or Evan Hinders, Trace? I'm kind of confused. I think this is supposed to be from Evan Hinders, right? Or is it from Raiders for Life? Either way, Evan Hinders did send us a package, and Evan will pop his question up now. We have not gotten that package as of yet. As of Kevin King working out, no update on that front. Evan also asking this, the 49ers should try out Malcolm Butler. Now, it is really unfortunate what happened to Jason Verrett. I feel so badly for him. This is a guy who, when he's been able to stay on the field, he's been able to really play good football. Unfortunately for him, though, his season has gotten cut short time and time again with these injuries. Last year, torn ACL. This year, it's the torn Achilles. And because the 49ers no longer have him at their disposal, Malcolm Butler could be a decent cornerback who you sign. San Francisco did work out several players this week. It did not include any cornerbacks of note. Master Chef, what do you think the 49ers should do with Jason Verrett since he is so injury prone? I think that Jason Verrett is going to retire. He's in the final year of his contract. He only did sign a 1-year deal, by the way. I don't think he comes back. I don't think the Niners take another chance on him. He is a favorite in that locker room. Players were wearing Jason Verrett shirts prior to Sunday Night Football. It goes to show you the respect that they have for him. I think his football career is done. Unfortunately for him, he's been snake-bitten by injuries. Evan Hinders. Will Jacob Eason be elevated to the 53-man roster? I don't think he will. I don't think Jacob Eason will be elevated to the active 53-man roster. He's going to be on the practice squad. You're going to roll with Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy as your top 2 quarterbacks. That is for sure. Jacob Eason throughout his career, this is why he's a practice squad guy, 5 of 10, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. So he's only thrown 10 passes in his NFL life, 84 yards and a quarterback rating of 39.2. Orlando Ventura. Very interesting stuff here. Let's bring back Richard Sherman. This was a conversation that we did have last year, talking about Uncle Sherm prior to him signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The 49ers were reported to have some interest in Richard Sherman because of that level of familiarity. It did confuse me how they kind of settled for options like Josh Norman and Drake Kirkpatrick. It didn't make sense to me how with the familiarity with that Niners defense, even though they shifted gears from Robert Saleh to DeMeco Ryans, why Richard Sherman didn't want to come back. Unfortunately, Orlando, I think that Sherman is done. This is a guy who the last couple of years hasn't been able to stay healthy. And when you start to get a little bit older and those soft tissue injuries are just relentless and they do not stop, red flags. So I think Sherman is enjoying his broadcasting life. His podcast on Colin Cowherd's podcast network, the volume has been taken off. I think he's been doing a pretty good job on Amazon. I don't think he's going to come back, but it is fun to entertain and talk about those types of things. Words of wisdom, $5 super chat. I want to see some wrestling during the watch party, maybe a char or two. We actually do have a plastic pool here at the office, and we do have Jell-O if we wanted to Jell-O wrestle. It would probably take like a $300 super chat right now for us to actually do that. That would be fun, but then it would take away from our watch party, and it would be pretty messy here at the office. Maybe that could be a halftime show. $300 super chat. That would be something. Evan Hinders, with Dre Greenlaw suspended, should the Niners sign Isaiah Rockwell, recently released by Cleveland? So I have not seen anything on Dre Greenlaw being suspended. As of right now, we're doing our show here on Tuesday. I'm looking for any updates on Dre Greenlaw, and I'm not seeing any updates on Dre Greenlaw. I don't expect or anticipate that he is going to get suspended. I don't. I think that upon replay, Jimmy Ward hit Justin Herbert into Dre Greenlaw. That's what caused that hit to look a lot more vicious than it actually was. Before we hop on out of here, thanks to everybody for getting your questions and your super chats in. Where are you watching from? We're asking you this because the 49ers are playing in Mexico City on Monday Night Football against the Arizona Cardinals. So where are you? Let us know right now, and we appreciate your support of the show.